Hey guys, this is Tessa. Today we're going to be doing yoga for weight loss and toning up the legs and glutes. So let's go ahead and just come into a warm-up position that's going to help with the standing work that we're going to do. So I'm at the wall with my mat. Go ahead and get situated at the wall if you're not already. And once you're at the wall, go ahead and step your feet out wide enough to form a 90-degree angle with your legs. So you don't want your knees moving past your ankles too much. A little bit is fine. So feet hip distance, and you're just gonna sink down. And if you're not used to being in this position, you can come up a little bit, but the goal is to really sink down and get that 90-degree angle. And this is supported chair pose at the wall, really building that strength in the thighs and feeling that heat. So just root down through your feet, relax your toes, feel that strength in your thighs, and elongate your spine at the wall. And go ahead and come out. So in any warrior pose, you want to feel that amount of strength in your thighs and also that amount of length in your spine. So let's do that one more time. If you'd like more of a challenge, you can just step your feet together or bring them closer together. And go ahead and sink down. You can come back down, forming that 90-degree angle if you can. And you don't want your knees going out. You really want to root down through the ball of your foot. That's going to prevent your knees from falling out. And relax your face. Embrace that heat that's starting to build in your thighs. Relax your face. Feeling strong in your thighs. Nice long spine supported at the wall. And go ahead and press your feet to come out. So for a successful warrior, you want strong thighs and you want to be able to really explore the pose without being distracted by your hip being tight. So we're going to do something for our thighs, for our hip flexors to get that stretched out a little bit. So we're actually going to just start from tabletop. So from this position, tabletop, you're just gonna step 1 foot forward. And you don't want your knee moving too far past the ankle. So you're just gonna begin to walk that leg back. You can also walk this foot forward. Just come into a lunge where the knee is resting on the floor. And you're just gonna start to stretch out that quad, that hip flexor, so that you're not distracted in warrior by tightness there. And if you need more, you can just elevate yourself up. And you do want the knee over the ankle, a little too far out. So really pressing into that foot, letting the thigh sink down. And if you need more, you can bring the arms overhead like this, really letting the thigh descend as you reach through your fingertips. And rooting down through that forward foot is going to help with balance. So coming out of that position back into tabletop. So opposite foot, go ahead and step it forward. And you can just start to bring that knee back, a foot forward. And start to descend that thigh down towards the floor. Really rooting down through that forward foot, especially as you move into a deeper stretch. You can bring that palm on the knee and keep dropping that thigh. You're gonna start to feel it more in the hip flexor right here, as you move deeper. So rooting down through that foot and eventually bringing the arms overhead, really letting the thigh descend as you reach through the fingertips, and keep rooting down through this forward foot as you descend that back thigh. And release. Back to tabletop, just stepping that foot back. So back to tabletop, we're just gonna warm up the spine, open up the chest a little bit. So rounding the spine with an inhale, go ahead and breathe through your nose. Really stretching out the back. And exhale, go ahead and curve that spine, opening up the chest, bringing the shoulders back and away from the ears. And a few more times, deep breath in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth, just letting go of tension in the spine, letting the chest open. And one more, deep breath in. Really rounding the spine, the upper back. Don't harden the elbows, keep them nice and soft. As you exhale, curving the spine. Back to tabletop. So we're nice and set up for dog pose. So go ahead and just walk your hands forward a little bit. I'm gonna have you bring your index fingers forward instead of your middle fingers to open up the chest a little more, which is really good for the standing work we're gonna do. So to get into dog, your wrists are just in front of your shoulders, your knees are just in back of your hips, and you're gonna go ahead and just press, warming up the legs a little more. Might have to walk your feet in. Just find a position that feels good. Pressing the thighs back, letting the heels descend, bringing the chest towards the thighs. Really press that inner part of the palm. And remember to breathe. And you can begin to step your feet forward into this forward bend. So just bringing the chest in towards the thighs. You don't want to bend your knees in this position. Sometimes you do, but for our practice today, just keep lifting your thighs. There's a softness in your knees as you bring the chest in towards the thighs. And coming up, lifting the thighs, pressing the feet, really feeling length in your spine as you reach through your fingertips, opening up the chest. And back to center. So we are ready for Warrior One. So we're gonna use this wall a little bit later. For Warrior One, go ahead and just step your feet forward. And go ahead and just step your foot back. And the wall is here. If you feel like you're gonna fall over, you can just, use the wall as support. So stepping your foot back. So you wanna step back enough so that you're able to form a 90-degree angle with your forward foot. You don't want your knee going too far past your ankle. So your back foot is pivoted in just slightly, and your heel might pop up a little bit as you move into Warrior One. So just explore coming down and then back up. And you want your knee moving in the same direction as your toes. So just moving that knee forward, really rooting down through the ball of the foot below the little toe and center of the heel evenly, and planting that back foot. You can do that a few times. And then once you feel solid, you can just bring your palms to center. And if you want more, go ahead and keep rooting down through the feet. Bring your arms overhead, warrior one. Keep rooting down through your feet as you bend that knee, feeling strength in your thigh, just like when we first started in supported chair. And at any point you can come out back in. At any point you can come out and come back in. You need a break. And go ahead and pivot to the opposite side. Pivot that heel. Pivot that foot in. And hands on the hips. If you need support, you can use your hand to support yourself at the wall. So warming up that forward foot, you're just gonna bend that knee. Make sure that back foot is pivoted in just slightly. And bending, forming that 90-degree angle, rooting down through your foot evenly. And once you've warmed up enough, you can just stay. And if you're not at 90 degrees today, that's okay. It's just something to work towards. So rooting down through the foot, bringing the palms to center, and bringing the arms overhead. Warrior one. And you might find as you go along that you'll have to walk one foot forward, one foot back to feel comfortable. So warrior one. Rooting down, lifting up, reaching through the fingertips, and coming out. And stepping back to center. So now it's time to let the wall support and help us. So Tadasana to begin. Let's go ahead and step back. So you want your glutes touching the wall, and you want your shoulders touching the wall too, the backs of your shoulders. So rooting down through your feet, really letting your chest open in this position and lengthening the spine. And you're not leaning against the wall, you're just using it as a reference for standing upright in a healthy position. And you want to maintain this as you do these poses that we're about to do. So you can go ahead and just, step away from the wall a little bit to get into this position. So just step your feet wide, coming into warrior two for Virabhadrasana 2. So for this position, you want your wrists just over your ankles, more or less. So go ahead and pivot, and you want that back foot pivoted in just a little bit. Forward heel in line with back arch. And same thing, go ahead and just warm up. You can place your hands on your legs if you'd like to warm up. Just going down and up a few times. And you don't want your knee moving too far past your ankle. Forming that 90-degree angle. And once you feel nice and warmed up, go ahead and hold. And you're not leaning against the wall, you're just using it to help you stay aligned. So in this position, your spine is long, your thigh is strong, your thighs are strong. Make sure that back foot doesn't slide out. You want it pivoted in. It's really lengthening the spine, reaching through the fingertips. Building strength, building heat like this is so good for weight loss. So embrace the burn. Remember your breath. And coming out. And if you need to come out, take a breath, grab a sip of water, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the opposite side. Go ahead and pivot. And you want to warm up your knee, your leg in this position. Go ahead and just make sure that your knee isn't moving too far past your ankle. You might need to adjust yourself a little bit. So now we're all set up for full warrior. So stay present in your feet and your legs. Go ahead and bring the arms up. Being aware of that 90-degree angle or moving towards it. Really sinking down, rooting down through the feet. Lengthen through the fingertips. The shoulders relax away from the ears. And your gaze does go over your forward fingertips. And just hold it, rooting down through the feet, embracing the heat, the strength. And coming out. Go ahead and step the feet back together, and you can just shake out your legs and shake out your arms. Grab a drink of water if you want. So we are ready for Warrior 3 now. And we're actually going to do supported Warrior 3 at the wall. So I'm going to turn around and show you. So it's great to start with a half forward bend at the wall. So to get into this half forward bend, you want your hands in line with your hips. And go ahead and just step back. So you're forming a 90-degree angle with your whole body. So pressing the palms, feet are hip distance for now. We're gonna bring them together eventually. So in this position, there's a lot of freedom to lengthen the spine and open the chest. And that's what we want in Warrior 3. It gets a little more challenging. So in this position, go ahead and bring your feet closer together. And notice how your hips are even. You want to maintain that as you move into Warrior 3. So really letting the wall help you, pressing the palms. Go ahead and transfer your weight to one foot and just take a small step back with that other leg. And then eventually, nothing changes except you're going to lift that leg into supported Warrior 3. So rooting down through that foot, really lengthen through the ball of that foot that's lifted. And be sure that you're not just opening up your hips like this. You want to keep your hips nice and even. This is fantastic for glutes, really toning up those glutes. Go ahead and release. And if it feels like too much, you can just come back to half forward bend at the wall, just really lengthening that spine. Go ahead and move to the opposite side, transferring the weight, and then lifting that leg. So you want to keep that 90-degree angle. You want to keep a softness in the knee of the leg that's supporting you. You don't want to just jam your knee back. Hips are even. Notice your breath. Feel the burn in your glutes and your leg. And back down. Forward, half forward bend. Enjoying that length in the spine. And go ahead and come out. And shake it out. Shake out those legs, arms. So we're ready to try full Warrior 3 without the support of the wall. If it feels like you're just getting started with Warrior 3 and you want to stay at the wall, that's fine. So using what we learned at the wall to help us. So ideally in Warrior 3, you want to form a 90-degree angle with your body, with your arms, your torso, while lengthening the back leg behind you. So go ahead and just root down through your feet, be solid in your feet, and begin to just step your foot back and start to hinge forward. lengthening your spine. You can let that leg lift. You want your hips to stay even. Balance is going to be more of an issue when you don't have the support of the wall. And you're going to reach your fingertips in front of you, rooting down through that foot. Really lengthen and breathe. And know that balance is a constant practice in Warrior. Just bringing that attention to the foot, reaching through that leg and the fingertips, and coming down. And as you practice at home, anywhere you are is fine. So if you're right here, just practice on lengthening the spine and really reaching through that back leg. And opposite side, you might need to take a breath here. It's definitely a challenging pose. So same thing, go ahead and transfer the weight. And you're just gonna start to step that foot back and really stay present in that foot that's supporting you. Keep a softness in the knee too. You don't wanna lock your knee back trying to balance. And this is a challenging pose. So be patient with yourself. And just lifting that leg. Go ahead and bring the arms overhead. Really shooting for that 90-degree angle. Stay present in your foot that's rooting down. Really lengthen through your fingertips. Relax your face. And coming out. Woo! Feeling the burn. Tadasana. Mountain pose, rooting down through our feet, lifting through our chest. Feeling good. And we've done a lot today to strengthen and tone our legs and glutes. And I just want to thank you for joining me today. And if you like this video, please subscribe down below. And if you have any requests, please let me know. I would love to put together a video for you. And I hope you have a great day.